Hello, and welcome back to Fifth Quarter. I'm Kyle Cumberland.
And I'm Braden Weeks. And on this edition, Emily Woodruff brings us the boys soccer game versus West. Then, Dewey Gibson brings us a recap over volleyball.
We also have a roundtable discussion about sports here at Lee Summit High School.
All this and more on this edition of Fifth Quarter.
Lee Summit High School, a school that strides for Tiger pride, encourages the arts in all sports. LSHS, the original, a school that has hallways full of advanced, award-winning, and outstanding students, defined by tradition, pride, and excellence. That's LSHS.
The volleyball team took on Blue Springs in their home opener. Dewey Gibson brings us the recap.
On September 3rd, the Tigers took on the Blue Springs Wildcats at home. The Tigers fight hard, starting with a spike from Harper Snyder to get the Tigers to an early lead, but the Wildcats regroup and strike back, winning the first game 17-25. Loud crowd would try and turn the tides for the Tigers, and it would work as the Wildcats wouldn't have an answer for Snyder's spikes. The Tigers may have gone up early, but the Wildcats wouldn't be denied as they come back and win the second game 20-25. Signing off for Fifth Quarter, I'm Dewey Gibson.
The current number one high school soccer team in the state beat West 3-0. Emily Woodruff brings us the rundown.
Our Tiger soccer team kicked off against Lee Summit West Titans Thursday, September 5th. The Tigers would not hesitate to waste any time in the first half as senior Max Peiser would set senior Joseph Achugo up beautifully to break some ankles, slip past the Titans defense, and shoot and score the first goal of the game. The Titans would try to recover, however, keeper Jackson Wells would slide in for the save. With the sun setting, the Tigers would strike again as Hunter McGuire would cross the ball to Ethan Berg for the third and final goal of the game. Johnny Hutcherson would show off his foot skills as he would dance away from the forward. Tigers would beat the Titans 3-0. Signing off from Fifth Quarter, this is Emily Woodruff.
Braden Weeks recaps the football game against Liberty.
The Lee Summit Tigers kicked off their season against the Liberty Blue Jays on August 31st. Liberty would open up scoring early on as junior Luke Smith would hit sophomore Wintrick Williams, who would take the ball all the way. The rest of the entire first half would remain somewhat actionless until around the last minute. Senior Darius Pearsall would connect with Micah Manning, sending the Tigers into the red zone. At 4th and 10, the pair would try and link up again, but Pearsall's throw would be a few feet too long. The Tigers would begin to wake up during the third quarter. The lightning-fast Micah Manning would steal a major gain, adding to his 63 rushing yards on the night. During the fourth quarter, the Tiger offense would show up big. They would march down the field right up to the goal line where the 217-pound Kaya Tapina would power through the Liberty defense, making the score 6-17. The Tigers would quickly shut down Liberty's next drive.
There you go, Philly!
Micah Manning would begin the journey to the end zone. A few plays later, Pearsall would loft the ball forward, where hard over hype would be the name of the game, as Nate Morris would put the Tigers back into the game at 12-17. Lee Summit would be relentless in their pursuit for a third touchdown, but unfortunately time would expire seconds too early as the clock would win the game for the Blue Jays. Signing out for Fifth Quarter, I'm Braden Weeks.
Girls tennis took on Liberty North. Alex Hill shows us the intense match from top seeds from each team.
On September 10th, number 1 seed Maya Patton and number 3 seed Jeanette Foley took on their opponents from Liberty North. The duo would come out swinging, battling, and winning close points as they would jump out to a 2-1 lead with a great hard-hit volley by Patton. The Tigers wouldn't look back from there as they would continue to dominate and smoke the ball, making the Eagles swing late, as Foley would make it hard for the Eagles to return the ball. The duo would soon get a commanding 7-4 lead, but the Eagles would not give up and would settle down to win 4 in a row as they would storm back to make it an 8-7 lead. The Tigers would tie it up at 8-8, so they had to go to a 1-8 tiebreaker. The Eagles would win in the tiebreaker 8-6, winning them the match. Signing out for Fifth Quarter, I'm Alex Hill.
Boys swimming dove in against West and North on September 3rd. Trey Hill fills us in.
The Lee Summit Tigers competed in the LSR-7 Aquatics meet on September the 3rd. To begin with, Andrew Wishney would start off strong, performing 2 successful dives that would earn him 4th place. The rest of the team had their eyes set to watch the relay team compete. The team watched as the 200-meter relay earned 1st place between them and the Titans. The meet would go back and forth, but the Tigers finished off strong by earning 2nd place in the 200 medley. Even though the meet went the way the Tigers had hoped for, they knew they still had a lot of work to do. Signing out for Tiger Broadcast, this is Trey Hill.
Kyle Cumberland, Maya Patton, Josh Walker, and Jordan Wood sat down to discuss how sports are going so far.
Hello and welcome back to this first edition of the 5th Quarter Roundtable. I'm Kyle Cumberland today, joined with Jordan Wood, Maya Patton, and Josh Walker. So, Maya, I'm going to start with you. The soccer team has been doing pretty good. They're ranked number 1 in the state. What are the odds, do you think, of them getting to state or possibly even winning?
I do think the guys soccer team will make it to state this year, and I do think they'll win. We have some really good seniors on the team, and they'll just bring it all and win state.
Josh, what are your thoughts on this?
You know, soccer in Missouri is very competitive, and there's a lot of really good teams, so you never know with soccer.
Well, speaking of tough competition, the soccer team has scored 3-0 on Rockers, one of the best Ds in the league. And speaking of good offense, Jordan, the football team has had a great offensive start to the season. What are your key players to look for going into the season and possibly even the postseason?
I think the biggest player we have to focus on would be Darius Pearsall. Your quarterback's always the leader of the offense, the guy that the team rallies around whenever they're having a bad game. Darius has been down this year. We were down 17-0 in the 4th quarter against Liberty, clawed back 12 points in the 4th quarter. Against Belton, the hot offense stays hot. They come out, they score 57 points against them, some of that defense, but still, the offense for me has been the key, and the leader, Darius Pearsall, has been the reason they've been so hot.
Jordan, you're right, the offense has been dominant, but Josh, is there any other players or aspects of the game you want to highlight?
Yes, not just one player, but the whole defense as a whole has been dominant this season, only allowing 30 points in their first 2 games. That is something that can't be passed over.
No, I agree. The defense has been solid. We saw against Belton, they really showed up. Several defensive touchdowns, a few interceptions. Thomas Smith on a fake punt. Whether it's been on special teams or on actual defensive sets, they've looked very solid, been able to stop points from coming in, and they've been able to handle the offenses and special teams of others.
So moving on again, we've talked about football and soccer, but volleyball is also one of those sports. Maya, we lost 2 big seniors in Claire Wagner and Talon Hughes. How has the team, as you've seen, been able to recover from those losses?
We have Harper Snyder, who is going to play D1 up in New York, which is amazing for her, and we also have Sydney Goldsmith. They've been keeping the team together pretty well, and they've been doing pretty good this season as it started off, and I think they'll hold up and make it pretty far this year.
Well, that's a really good point. Everyone likes to focus on the old players. A lot of times they're a little more honed in on their skills, but we've also seen some freshmen that have come in. They've done some big things this year early on. Ashlyn Bellamy being one of them. It's always great to see younger people in on varsity sports. It shows that there's a big future for the school. So not even looking at this year, but looking ahead into the future, we could potentially see them being stars as well.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our first 5th Quarter Roundtable. Again, I'm Kyle Cumberland, joined with Jordan Wood, Maya Patton, and Josh Walker. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of 5th Quarter. For sports packages and more, go to www.tigerbroadcast.com.
For live streams and updates, check us out on Twitter at SportsTBTV8. Signing out for 5th Quarter, I'm Braden Weeks.
And I'm Kyle Cumberland. We'll see you next time.